Hi, friends. Well, it's winter here and it's cold out. I haven't been out flying a whole lot lately, so I sat down and took the time to kind of just go over some of the flights I did in the last year. A lot of my flights ended up being corrupted because the SD card I was using was bunk, but I got some really good clips of some of the starts of my flights and the ends of my flights, so I was pretty happy with that. Anyways, last year was great. I did a whole whack of long range flights all over the countryside near where I live and had just an absolute great time cruising around and checking out cool sites and stuff like that. And I thought to myself how lucky I am to live in a place that allows sub 250 gram planes to be flying without too much in the way of restrictions. This last year has mostly been dominated by me flying my ZOHD Drift, which is an absolute delight to fly. It's just cool and calm and collected, if you know what I mean. It doesn't get much better than that. I also have a ZOHD 250 gram Talon, which is also a great little flyer. But yeah, there are other great options for flying sub 250 gram planes. There's the Goblin, and RC Test Flights recently released their little Flick plane, which has me interested. I like the idea of having something I can kind of just throw in a bag and take with me wherever. The Drift, it does take a little bit of preparation to get all packed up and ready to go somewhere. Where I'm flying these days, the guidelines generally state that just don't put anybody in danger and don't put anybody at risk. And so I want to do a good thing when I'm out there flying and not cause too much nuisance. So I've got a set of rules that I thought I'd share with you here today for just keeping it real and having a good time, but not being a nuisance. So the number one thing I'll say is, like, I don't fly over populated areas. You'll see most of my videos here that I'm showing clips of. I'm not anywhere near any sort of population center or anything like that. And I think that just makes sense. Kind of the rule I've been going by is if I'm flying over areas that are relying on well water, then it's probably fair game. And that goes on to say that, like, have a route in plan, keep an eye out for like major landmarks and that sort of thing, and any places you want to avoid, including like restricted airspace. Just stay out of restricted airspace. Don't be that guy. But yeah, that's still the large majority of the countryside, I think, is fair game when you're flying long range FPV. I also try to avoid flying over like busy highways or other infrastructure. If I feel like if I crashed or had an accident and for whatever reason the plane ended up on the roadway, that could be fatal. And so I just stay away from a lot of those places, and I feel like that's a pretty safe thing to do. One more thing too is just to test your return to home. I think at the start of any long range flight, you'd be foolish to not just give it a little flick and make sure it activates and turns your plane around. It's a great and easy little fix. I think kind of just like the final note I have here is just like, don't be an asshole. Don't loiter over people. Don't bother wildlife. And keep your distance away from buildings and other structures. And a lot of the time, I'll just stay near the maximum altitude near where I'm from. And I feel like I get some incredible shots of the countryside while I'm flying around like that. I just wanted to share those tips with you, and just if you've got any other tips, feel free to shoot me a comment below and share. I'd be super interested to hear what you have to say. But I think just knowing the limits of your aircraft and knowing all the obstacles that you might want to avoid is just a great way to not be a nuisance and have a great time doing it. So thanks so much for listening, and I hope you're enjoying the videos, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.